Hi, this is loopbraider again. My name is Ingrid. I'm going to be showing you here how to make the divided version and the flat versions of the 5-loop square braid. I'm trying to use thicker yarn so it'll show better. I'm using a thick black yarn and I've doubled this gold yarn, so I'm hoping it'll show up when we're looking at the actual braid. Okay, earlier I demonstrated how to make a square braid of 5 loops. This is very similar. For the square braid, you went through the first 2 loops, over the top of the last loop, and pulled it through, giving that loop a turn. Here, I'm going to start by demonstrating a split braid. It's going to be a divided braid, 2 little flat braids, one on top of the other, and this will be it'll be how I start the braid, so there'll be a little slit or divided portion at the top of the braid. Then I'll join it up into a flat braid so that divided part will be like a loop at the top. It's kind of handy for a lot of stuff, and it's the basic. It'll teach the basic move for making the flat braid as well, the flat version. So now for the divided braid, for making 2 little braids at once, I'm not going to go over the loop to take it. I'm going to go through it. That's all the difference is. You're going to go through it, and then when you take it, it won't turn over. And that's the only difference. Before, we took it from the top. You could actually have taken it from the bottom if you wanted to, too. Either way, taking it from the bottom or taking it from the top will give the loop a flip. It'll turn over as it comes. Here, I'm going to go through the loop that I'm going to take. I'm taking it. It looks the same, but it didn't turn over. Shift, shift, tighten. I'm not going to go particularly slowly here. Now, I'll show you again on the other side. I'm going through the first loop, through the second loop, through the last loop. I'm going through all the loops and taking. I always tip my hand down and take the bottom. It would not matter if I tipped my hand up and took the top shank, but it's awkward, I think. It's better to do the same thing each time. When I take the top loop, I take it downward, and when I go inside the loop and take it downward. So I'm going through all the loops to take the last loop. I'm going to do this a little ways, and here we go, and we're going to see, tighten, we're going to see a split start to form. It might look like exactly the same as what was doing before, but I'm now going through all the loops, including the one that I take. I'm not going over it. My earlier demos show this type of braiding much slower, so you can learn it from that and follow along. Now I'm going to get these over the camera. You can already see, I hope, sock these loops back. I hope you can see that this is braiding 2 braids at once. They look the same. There's one on the bottom, one on the top. If it had been a square braid, if I had been doing the move I showed you before, the original move, the top and the bottom layer here would be joined on the sides. That's what turning that loop does. It joins the top and bottom layer of the braid together. It's really the same braid, same type of braid. It's just this square braid is split through the middle, and the other one was joined on the other one. Let's see, they're both double weaves. Uh-oh, I better make sure I didn't turn that loop. I'm getting it back. I had turned it. In fact, I think I had turned the last one. Trouble with talking and braiding. Okay, I undid. Yeah. The way you can tell, too, if you've made a mistake with this braid is by poking your finger through all the loops. I'm poking it through just as if I'm going to braid, doesn't matter what finger, and lifting up. You can see the bottom shanks of the loops are going to the bottom braid. All the top shanks of the loops are going to the top braid. In fact, that's what is forming the braid. It's hard to point this out, but the upper shanks are braiding the top braid, and the lower shanks, how do I get at those? The lower shanks are braiding the lower braid. And also in the square braid too, the shanks braid separately. They are separate elements in this braid. It isn't like, anyway, I'll leave that alone. Okay, getting back to the braid, we're keeping on going. Trying to remember to take the bottom, go through all, take the bottom, through all, take the bottom. Now I'm thinking about how long I want the loop to be. Let's see. it's a really fat braid I'm making. I might as well make a kind of a hefty, long loop. Let's see if this is showing on the camera. Okay, so this is about an inch long or so. Let's give it a couple more passes here. Now, lift it off. Let's see if I can bring this up and show what we have. There's the knot at the top. Here's the upper braid and the lower braid. If they had been if they braid together, I mean, at first you might not even, they're braiding at the same time, you might not even notice that they're divided. You have to look at the side. The strands that are going to the top braid all go to the top of your fingers. The strands that are going to the bottom braid all go to the bottom of your fingers, the way the loops are. Now I'm going to join these together just by, and you could join these into a square braid and have a nice loop at the top of your square braid. Or what I'm going to show now is a flat braid, a flat, wider braid than the square braid. You might guess you're going to do this by, let's see, which side will I do which? I think that what I'll do, because leftover is kind of a good mnemonic, I'm going to say, on the left side of the braid, I'm going to have the loop be turned. And on the right side of the braid, I'm going to have the loop come straight across without a turn, the way we did on both sides for the divided braid. Now we're going to do our old way on the left side of the braid and our new way on the right side of the braid. That will make a braid, again, 2 layers. They always have 2 layers. The square braid, the 2 layers are joined. I don't know if you see this. The square braid, the 2 layers are joined on both sides. The divided braid, they're not joined on either side. This braid that we're now going to attempt to make will be joined on the left and not on the right. And then after braiding, you will open it. You will turn it, you'll spread it apart into a flatter, wider braid. Still a double weave. It's braided in 2 layers, but it will be opened out. Okay, so on the left, I'm going to go, on the left side, I'm going to go over the loop and take it, tighten. That loop got a twist, that loop got a turn. And on the right side, I'm going to go through the loop that I take and take it. That loop got no turn, tighten. Left side, over, left, over. So you can see that right through. I did not go over, I went through the last loop. Left, over, right through. Let's see if it's joining up. Sometimes I also check here, I'll check and make sure, because depending on your tension, you can sometimes get where it's like tighter on the top and looser on the bottom or something, or do I show in here? I don't know, the left sides might, the V that's forming might sort of be higher on the top or the bottom layer, and you might want to fussily kind of try and adjust things. Oh, I didn't show you if it was joining. It is starting to join. I'm going to open it on the side. It's going to open on the right side because we're doing it there. See, it's up to a point it was, does this show? Let's take it off. There we go. Up to a certain point it was divided. Now it's starting to be joined into a flat braid. You want it to stay folded as you're braiding it. This is very helpful for the braid structure. If it opens up while you're braiding it, it won't braid as flat. If you open it up, or if you're pulling too tightly and it sort of opens on its own, you get what I call a 3/4 braid. That braids flat but upright like this. It won't be braiding flat horizontally. It'll be braiding flat vertically. And the tension of braiding, of pulling, will compress it so that it isn't as wide as if it braided in its folded state. You want the braid that's forming to be folded. And if it seems like it's opening up, I would manually fold it. You want it to look like a square braid as it's braiding. I'm going to keep braiding. Left over, right through. Do I show there? Left over, right through, left over, right through, left over, right through, left over, right through, left over. It's nice saying the mantra. It can remind you. I mean, this is actually pretty important not to make a mistake with this, because if when you're supposed to go through you went over, that's going to tie your braid together at that point. That mistake in a square braid isn't really a big deal, but in a flat braid it can be pretty annoying, because there you've gotten, you know, several inches down, and just because of one little mistake of getting the top instead of going through the middle and taking it, your braid will, it won't be tied together. Let's do one. Here. There, I just turned it by mistake, and now I'm going to braid correctly a few more passes. Left over, right through, left over, right through. Okay, now let's see the mistake. It looks the same. It looks kind of like a square braid. You can't really tell that you've made a mistake just by looking. I think if I feel, though, there's a slit on the right side, so I'm feeling down through that slit, and right there I can feel something crossing that slit. It's like, oh, wait a minute, that just feels different. And you open it up. It isn't going to bind it together unless you're braiding really tight, but there'll be a big X across your braid where that, I don't know if it really shows here. You know, you might not worry about it. I mean, there'll be, if you look at your braid later and you see some X's going across one side, it's like, well, that's where you forgot and took the loop turned instead of straight. You took it with a turn. And now I'm going to undo. I hadn't meant to show this here, but I'm going to undo. So this is the straight side. This is the turned side. I'm actually doing straight. I'm doing A-cell braiding here. Straight. At some point, turn. At some point, unbraiding here. Straight. Ah. I pulled it through the right way, straight, like I should have, but it came with a turn. That was the mistake, and I'm gonna turn it back. Okay, so we'll keep going. Let's see, that was the straight side. Through all. Left over. Right through. Left over. Right through. Left over. Right through. Over, through. My other videos, left over, are nice and slow, so you can practice it there. That felt funny. No, it was totally right. Through, left over. My black yarn is much thicker than even the yellow yarn is doubled. Over, right through, so it does feel a bit different. Through, over, through. Why don't I do, I made a square. This is braiding pretty folded. Sometimes the braid looks totally, here let's check out what we have. Looks totally square, looks totally like completely like a square braid. This is a bit open, and when you look on the other side, on the right side, it looks sort of dished or cupped or something. That's fine. That's good. There's the bottom layer. There's the top layer. There's where it's joined on the left side and not joined on the right side. Let's stretch it open. When you open it, you're going to be pulling a little bit on the very outer row, not on the whole braid, because you want the outer part to stretch. I often, I usually do this after a braid. I'll squeeze the braid together like this, because during braiding, it's been under lengthwise tension. You've been pulling it that whole time, so this relaxes it. Squeeze it, and then it's easier to spread out, and it also looks better. Just looks bigger. Looks fatter and wider. Yeah, I do the square braids, too. I push them together. Okay, let me make sure I'm not losing my loops. The two sides look very slightly different. They have the same pattern, pretty much.